Man, I wonder what month it is. Oh no. So the PlayStation 1 was pretty much the dawn of horror games. I mean, there are technically examples of them on earlier consoles, but it's kind of hard to piss yourself with only 16 bits. But on the PlayStation 1, games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill were coming out, and pretty soon the whole world knew that being scared shitless was the next big thing in gaming. And at the same time, this is when some of the most iconic urban myths surrounding video games started, like L is real. So obviously there would be a PlayStation 1 horror game that uses digitized photos that some say is cursed and has actually killed people. Obviously! This game is Kowai Shashin, and it's a Japanese horror game whose title literally translates to scary photo, which kind of just makes it sound like a bad ripoff of Fatal Frame. Although actually it's basically reverse Fatal Frame. Instead of taking pictures of ghosts, we're sucking ghosts out of pictures. Where this game gets interesting is that all of the photos in the game are real photos, and they've just been edited to have spooky elements in them then crushed onto a PS1 disc. But according to rumor, some of these are not edited and are in fact photographs of actual ghost sightings. And after daring to include them in their game, the developers were haunted by spirits and one of them died. Let's be real here, none of that is true. Regardless, ever since, this game has been revered as a cursed artifact by the few gamers who are aware of it, admitted into the pantheon of cursed games. 10 spots under Sonic.exe. And then I downloaded a copy of it because the file size was pretty small, which is the digital equivalent of a couple in a horror movie moving into a haunted house because the rent was low. But now, what I want to find out is, all real-world myths and dated CG women aside, how good is this horror game, both as a horror experience and as a game? Now, while I was expecting basically nothing out of this, it turns out the answer is, it's pretty damn good? Let's get into it. Oh, by the way, thanks to these awesome people for translating this game into English. We get introduced to Hiyori, a psychic who specializes in exorcising ghosts from photos, and reads some tutorial text about how to find and defeat ghosts. Well, into the game. I don't think I get it. The ghost is clearly there. I am pressing every button. What am I doing wrong? Hi, it's me from the future. While my past self fails, I'm going to explain what I should have been doing here. What you have to do in this game is find the exact position of the ghost, and I know what you're thinking. It should be obvious where the ghost is in this photo, but only one specific part of the photo actually triggers the spirit encounter. And yes, a lot of this game is blindly poking around trying to find the one specific pixel that'll activate it. You can only encounter a ghost while you're in spirit mode, which also causes this ring to glow different colors depending on how close you are. But while you're in spirit mode, your health drains really quickly, so you gotta find it fast. And once you get the cursor over the exact right place, it attacks you. Oh hey, look, past me figured it out. So this game is 50% point and click and 50% QuickTime events by volume, and when a ghost attacks, it'll go into QuickTime events. You have to drive off the spirit by clicking the button that's in the direction the ghost is approaching from, which then gives you an opportunity to attack back by performing a series of button combinations like this. I know QuickTime events are one of those gaming buzzwords that gets people all up in arms, but actually I don't mind them in this game. Usually they're annoying because they interrupt the regular gameplay and they require either lightning fast reaction time or trial and error to memorize them. But in this game, they are the regular gameplay, and the memorization doesn't matter because the combos you use to seal ghosts are the same every time, which to some might sound repetitive, but I liked it since in universe these are meant to be chants that you memorize, and besides, learning these is the only real way to get better at the game. I think QuickTime events is a great choice for a game like this. It builds the tension by having you rely on your own reaction time. I genuinely didn't expect this game to ever scare me, but I have to admit, it is pretty stressful when you repeatedly miss the inputs and see a ghost slowly getting closer. It can freak you out, especially towards the end of the game where the ghosts get faster and take more hits. Which, of course, makes you more likely to panic and mess up again, and results in a positive feedback loop of fear. Alright, next level! I feel personally attacked. This makes me wonder how they made some of these shots. Like, they didn't have Photoshop and not all of these ghosts are just superimposed faces. So did they just have a guy stuffed into the foot space of this car? Also, I'm still bad at video games. Good job leaving your mouse on screen like a middle school teacher, me! Every level is a different photograph sent in by a different client, with a short horror story to go along with it. And after the exorcism, Hiyori will either write a report explaining the ghost, or the client will go into greater detail on the story. So this game is also kind of like a short horror story anthology? I might use one of these around a campfire someday. I wonder whose job it was to go out at night and take photos of whatever place looked spooky to them. I wonder whose job it was to make spooky faces in front of a camera, then superimpose them into random parts of these photos. I've got to say, it is really satisfying playing these levels. They're short and sweet, and getting the ghosts feels so snappy and satisfying. Except when they put the encounter location somewhere stupid like this level. What else is spooky here? Is this black lump spooky? Are these people in the background spooky? Is this sign spooky? I wonder who these girls are. Do they walk up to some high schoolers and ask, hey, wanna be in a horror game? It's been over 20 years since this game. Where are they now? Do they remember this? Do they ever think about the fact that they were once extras in a PlayStation game? Is there a person out there somewhere who points at these pixels and goes, that's me! Since we're on chapter 2 now, ghosts take 2 hits in the opening QTEs to repel. Can you tell I'm grasping for things to say because I can't find the last ghosts? I divided my footage by chapters and literally half of chapter 2 is just me trying to find this goddamn ghost. What do you mean it's off in the right? What's so haunted about this pissing gate? The level names combined with the dramatic music are really funny sometimes. Oh my god. This is it. That's the level. The one that's apparently a real ghost sighting. I need to see it. If the legends are true, then this photo must be more convincingly eerie than all of the rest so far. Well, at least I can tell where all the ghosts are. This honestly kind of feels like a shitpost. Look at him. Well, I guess this game isn't gonna curse me after all. Alright, that's the end of chapter 2. I should probably fill you in on some story junk. Our main gal is an orphan. Her dad, who she inherited her powers from, mysteriously vanished. So now she's a shut-in who makes a living by being the only exorcist able to work from home during quarantine. But now she's starting to absorb the memories of the ghosts she consumes. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that she eats souls, but, she does. Maybe that's why she looks like that. Hey wait, don't you consume, like, evil spirits? Shouldn't you be worried if they're, like, affecting your personality? I'm sure it's fine. You know what's really scary? The fact that 80% of you guys aren't subscribed. I hope all of you who are subscribed feel a great sense of superiority as the small minority of people with good taste. And the rest of you? Live in fear. If I ever got haunted in real life, I'd end up begging the ghost to leave a like. This is getting really hard, actually. These ghosts are kicking my ass! The next interesting thing to happen is at the end of chapter 3, when Hiro gets a letter telling her that her crush from when she was 7 is dead, and now we have to calm his spirit. And this level is pretty much the closest thing so far to a boss. Then this happens. Man, I bet this isn't how you thought your first date would go, am I right? Wow, she's been acting a little odd since that last case. Like, insatiable hunger that she hears. Kinda odd. The consuming souls thing was a joke. You're not gonna... I mean... Well, back on the job, I guess. What is that thing? What is that thing? What is that thing? What is that thing? The scariest part of this game is when my drivers freak out retro arc. So then ghosts continuously kicked my ass for the next 2 levels. Who are you gonna call? Not me, if you value your life. Well, guess there's nothing to do except get good. That wasn't nearly as cool as I was expecting. Update, I got good. Look, Hiyori, I get that you're trying to be conflicted about your actions and your whole urge to eat souls you've got going on, but calling that spirit harmless feels like a personal insult after the amount of time I spent fighting it. At some point in my first draft of this script, I made a joke about how if this was a real exorcist, they'd get a lot more pictures of random animals and creepy guys at night. Well, one of those happened. I guess we're going to eat an alive guy's soul this time. Ah, give me a soul.
生き量のエネルギーがこんなに美味だとは思わなかった。
Great.
あの男の生き量を除霊したのとちょうど同じ日だった。
Yeah, that's about what I was expecting.
まさかそんな。
You ate someone's soul, and you were surprised when it killed him? What is wrong with you? Sure, business as usual, I guess. You just ate someone's goddamn soul and killed him. Do you really need to know about the guys who got haunted at that karaoke night? Wow, karaoke is spelled wrong in my script, even though the text was literally on screen as I wrote this. That's embarrassing. I just want you to look at some of this footage. How am I this bad? It was at this time that I discovered RetroArch's slowdown button, essentially the opposite of emulator speed up, slowing the game down dramatically instead of speeding it up. I've never found a reason to use this before, but it's pretty helpful for, no, I don't know, QuickTime events for instance? Is this cheating? Yes, but good luck calling me out when only 4 people are gonna watch this video all the way to the end. Please subscribe. I'll just rationalize it as a new power that Hiyori gained from consuming all these souls, because the game sure didn't make me any stronger in accordance with that story beat. Well, now some real shit is going down as Hiyori is being super, ultra, mega haunted. But sure, business as usual, I guess. At this point in the game, it's pretty much impossible for my mortal reaction time to follow the speeds these ghosts move at. Even with the slow-mo mode, I was still struggling. I guess for true immersion, the devs wanted to make a game about exorcism that you actually do have to be psychic to beat. Well, one thing leads to another, and now Hiyori's exorcising her dad. You see, the reason he left is because he was being pursued by the same spirits that are haunting her now, so he had to leave his body behind and escape to the spirit world, passing on his power to her. Yeah, okay. I bet you were picking up some milk and cigarettes in the spirit world too. Well, now we gotta fight and consume his spirit out of this photograph so Hiyori can gain his full power and hopefully not get eaten by ghosts. It's a psychic eat ghost eat psychic world out there. That line was funnier in my head. And if any of the ghosts we've seen so far can be called a boss fight, this is the one. I preferred to flee than become your enemy, Hiyori. Anyway, fireball, 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 fireball! This fight was really tough, and it took a really long time, but suffice to say, I did it. By cheating. So now is when the real plot twist drops. The spirits that are haunting Hiyori are her own ancestors. Since long ago, her family were a bunch of assholes who ate people's souls to gain power, until they realized that if they ate each other's souls, then their own power to eat souls would be amplified. And after they realized that, it took about 5 seconds for a battle royale to break out, with the last man standing becoming an unkillable demon, with his humanity erased, who's controlled by the same hunger Hiyori was feeling earlier with no rational thought left. Sounds like an average YouTube commenter to me, but you can prove me wrong by leaving a comment. God, I'm just shameless today. Also, the tune that plays during this reveal kinda slaps. Listen to this. And now, the final boss. Oh my god, are you hearing this music? This is awesome! This fight is tough. You go through multiple phases of different spirits, fighting them off one by one, with the final one being this eyeball that won't freaking die! Game, I think you're kind of underselling the stakes here. I think having your entire being consumed by the amalgam of your entire ancestry goes a little beyond exorcism failed. This boss fight took a while, even with slow-mo, but after a long time of messing up QTEs and listening to this awesome music, I finally beat it. Hiyori eats her entire bloodline, then goes to live in the spirit world. And then some credits roll, which I can't read. So instead, I'm gonna once again thank the awesome people who translated this game into English. So, what did I think of Kowai Shashin? It was really good, actually. The gameplay and atmosphere complemented each other really well. It had the perfect balance of cheesy and genuinely scary. The storyline was interesting, and the game was the perfect length that I never got bored of it. I really like this game. It does suffer a little from reusing enemies, but I mean, come on, every game does that. And there are some parts where it was kind of bullshit hard, but thankfully I can cheat, and I do not feel bad about that whatsoever. It seems like a long time ago that the main hook of this game for me was that it was supposedly cursed. Since the entire time I've been playing this, I've just been enjoying this game for what it is. And besides, there's no way I could get haunted by a PS1 game, right?